Hello and welcome to another career education and mental health literacy class. I want to start with acknowledging that the information and lesson ideas here come from mentalhealthliteracy.org, a Canadian organization that provides amazing resources related to mental health literacy. So we have certain expectations as we go into looking at personal experiences with mental disorders and illnesses. And you need to remember that not everyone in your class is comfortable with these topics. Remember, 1 in 5 of us are dealing with a mental disorder or illness at some point. Empathy, sensitivity, and kindness are required at all times during these classes. And we must use respectful language. Terms like crazy, nuts, psycho are not okay. They are not acceptable. And we say that people are living with or experiencing a mental health condition. We don't say people are suffering from or victims of a mental health condition. Mental illness is not a joke, and people who share their stories are brave and deserve respect. Over the next few weeks, we will be learning about various mental disorders, and you will hear directly from other young people about their personal experiences. In their words, we'll work together to explore the impact of mental illnesses on the lives of young people in order to understand on a personal level the way mental illnesses can impact a person's life, and appreciate the importance of getting help and proper treatment for a mental illness. It's to stress the importance of positive communications between adults and teens. And the mental illnesses or disorders that we're going to be exploring are, of course, at the top of this pyramid that we looked at before. So for each disorder or illness, we will explore the same set of questions. So you will find that there are some common themes and concerns for people with different disorders. So we will be looking at what are the symptoms of the illness that are described, how did the illness affect the person, what help or treatment did the person receive, did the people recover, and what did they find helpful? So what is depression? Feeling down or sad when something negative happens is a totally normal reaction. Most of the time, these feelings go away on their own or disappear when something good happens. Depression is different. It occurs when these feelings of sadness and other associated difficulties don't go away. In fact, they become so pervasive that they interfere with the ability to lead a normal life. Depression affects people's thoughts, feelings, actions, even their physical activities. It becomes the filter through which the depressed person sees the world. So how do I know if I have depression or if I'm just having a bad day? Everyone has bad days. And it only becomes a problem if there seems to be no real reason for your sadness. If the sad and low feelings last longer than they should, and if these symptoms and feelings interrupt with your daily routine. This is what a normal mood looks like. Notice how the mood fluctuates up and down. A normal range of mood for most people moves back and forth from a positive mood to a low mood. And these fluctuations often happen because of something positive that happens, like getting a good grade on a test, or something negative that might happen. But for whatever type of mood, it doesn't get stuck in one position for a long time. For someone with depression, their mood range looks a little different. So it will start at the normal baseline and it'll go down to the negative state and stay down there for a long time. People with depression often have major depressive episodes, which is a period of at least 2 weeks where most of the time this person has felt sad or depressed, hasn't enjoyed the things he or she normally likes to do. That person may be experiencing some of the following symptoms. They might eat less, sleep much less or much more, move restlessly or barely move at all. They'll feel tired, a lack of energy, lose feelings of pleasure or enjoyment. They might feel worthless or hopeless or guilty. They might have trouble concentrating or making decisions, and they might lose interest in activities they usually enjoy. So who gets depression? Approximately 5% of Canadians will develop a depression between the ages of 14 and 25. And depression isn't related to your ethnic background, your level of education, how much money you or your family make, or your relationship status. How is depression treated? Well, it's actually very treatable, which is the good news. There are well-established treatments that include medication, as well as some kinds of psychotherapists or counselors. And often these two will be used together And another thing that's really important in this mental disorder, as well as many others, is a good support network. And a good support network or good support system is made up of a lot of people that surround you and support you. Depression sometimes can have stigma attached, which, remember, is a polite word for discrimination or a negative attitude people have about something they don't understand. And so if you have depression, you might hear negative comments, and these people just don't really understand what depression is. Although it may be hard, you have to try not to take their comments personally. They don't realize that depression is a medical condition that requires treatment, just like diabetes or a broken leg or anything that goes wrong with the body can require treatment. It doesn't make you weak or a bad person, a lesser person. It just means that you need to get help. Our first experiences of mental illness case study will be based on Ellie, who discovers that she's been living with depression. As you watch, take point form notes on your device or on paper to answer the questions. What are some of the symptoms of Ellie's depression, and how did the illness affect Ellie? What help or treatment did Ellie receive? What did Ellie find helpful? And did Ellie recover? Let's watch the video now.
Hey, I'm Ellie, and this is Lynn.
Hey.
Last year, I was diagnosed with depression. Lynn was there to see the whole thing go down. You've probably heard the words depression before, but might not know exactly what depression means. Let's say you get some bad news. Hey.
Oh my God. I just saw your boyfriend holding hands with Jenny at the mall. He is so over you.
Things like breakups are painful and might make you feel sad, frustrated, angry, or heartbroken. But trust me, most teens go through that kind of stuff. Depression is something completely different. Check this out. Think of the thermostat in your house or apartment. When the temperature in your house gets too cold, the heat kicks in and brings the temperature back to just right. Your brain works a lot like the thermostat. Let me show you. Let's say this line is the just right mood. And these two dotted lines are the happy and sad range of emotions that you might feel whenever. Like the thermostat in your house, when your mood goes down, your brain makes changes to bring your mood back up. When your mood goes up, your brain makes changes to bring your mood back down to that just right level. When I was depressed, it was like the thermostat in my brain broke. My mood started going down, and I got totally stuck, like at the super low level. That's when depression came into my life. When I was depressed, there were some really obvious signs that something was wrong. My sleep changed. I wanted to sleep all the time. I had no energy. Even brushing my teeth felt overwhelming. That sounds stupid, but that's how I felt. I lost interest in all the things I used to like. It seemed like nothing made me happy or excited anymore.
Don't answer the phone. No one wants to talk to you. Look at yourself. Who'd want to be around you?
I had lots of sad thoughts and feelings. It was like my brain kept saying things to me that I would never have thought before.
Ellie, I care about you. Things are gonna get better. I promise. You're just having a hard time right now.
Am I always going to be like this? I just feel so sad.
You're my best friend, and I know you're gonna get through this. I think you should talk to someone and try to get some help.
Just leave me alone. I felt like I was on an elevator going down, and I couldn't get off. I started to think that I'd be better to die than to keep feeling so sad. That scared me. I remembered what my friend Lynn said, and I decided to get help. I went to see a therapist. The therapist told me that the thoughts of sadness and hopelessness and suicide were my depression talking. My therapist said that as my mood went back up, depression would be forced to leave me alone. The other thing was to take the meds my doctor prescribed me to help my brain work the way it did before I was depressed. Having Lynn's support made a huge difference. After taking the meds for a while and talking to my therapist, I really started to feel better. Life is worth living again.
I'm just happy you're back to your old self. I told you you'd feel better.
Alright, we've got some serious texting to do. So, TTYL. Depression is a serious illness, and it is so important to get help as soon as you start feeling depressed. If you are worried that you might be depressed, talk to your doctor and tell him or her how you're feeling. You can also check out this website to learn more about depression.
Your next task is to discuss with a classmate or as a class and add to your notes. You can pause the video and do this now. Please make sure you've completed the following activity this week. After you've watched Ellie's video and discussed answers with your peers, you will go into Teams and complete the form called MHL3, which Mental Health Literacy 3, Depression. You can revisit this video and use your notes as needed, of course, and it's okay to work with a friend or classmate, but you must each submit your own form. That's it for this week. See you next time.